Alright guys, so this is my Honda 400 Airbox pre-filter mod, and this is what you will receive in the mail. Also, I want to keep in mind that this is all that included, so you will need to provide your own hardware and tools to install this on your machine. Now, the list of tools that you will need a drill bit that is one step down from 1/4 inch. You will need a 1/4 inch drill bit. You will need 6 1/4 inch bolts that have 5/8 inch of thread and are about 3/4 inch long overall. You will need 6 washers and 6 nuts, of which is preferred to have flanged or locking nuts, but if you just have regular ones, you can use Loctite instead. But anyhow, to begin with the installation process, you'll start by grabbing your airbox lid off your unit. Now this one I have already modded, but I can still show you how the install would go. So you'll take your frame, and there's one side that has these pegs that stick up. Now when you turn it upside down and line it up, it will automatically center it on the airbox based off the groove down the middle. When that's all lined up, go ahead and lightly hold it down just to keep it from slipping out, and then use that drill bit that is one step down from 1/4 inch and drill out all 6 holes. Once you've got that done, turn your airbox lid right side up. This time, go to your 1/4 inch drill bit and drill all 6 out holes just a little bit more. Now the reason I have you do that step is because these holes are slightly tighter than 1/4 inch. That is so when you screw your bolts in, you actually get an airtight seal. If you drill these out to 1/4 inch, it's not the end of the world, but you do technically lose that airtight. However, once again, it doesn't make a huge difference, just preference. Anyhow, now that you have your holes drilled out, you can actually run 2 bolts through opposing corners and press this down onto your airbox. That will line it up, then trace it out with a silver Sharpie, and that will mark what you need to cut out. Then, once all that's cut out and deburred, go ahead, set your airbox lid to the side, and take the smooth side now, and put some RTV all over it and around the bolt holes. Don't go crazy with it, but put a reasonable amount. Then go ahead and take your pre-filter mesh and set it and line it up perfectly on this outline. The RTV should hold it in place. It should be tacky enough that holds everything together. And then you can go ahead and use that same drill bit that you originally drilled your holes with. That should be one step down from 1/4 inch, and you can heat the blank end of it up. Now it doesn't have to be cherry red, it just has to be hot enough to melt these holes. So then you can go ahead and heat that up and pop your drill bit through these, and it should melt the holes on this pre-filter mesh. Now that you've got this as one piece now, you can go ahead and screw in all 6 bolts using a washer on this side. Should look something like this. Once you press it all down, you can turn it upside down and you can run all your nuts on. Now, once again, I recommend using flange nuts or nuts that have a nylon locking ring, as that will keep it from backing loose over time. If you don't have that, you can just use regular nuts with Loctite, but I would also recommend using a washer on this side too. If you use a washer on both sides, you will need slightly longer bolts. Once again, I'm using flange nuts, and these are 5/8 inch long threaded 1/4 inch bolts, 3/4 inch overall. But that is simply how you install this on your machine. You can go ahead, once you've got all that done, and put it on your unit, and you're ready to rip. One thing I do want to mention really quick is some people like to take their Honda 400s mudding or, kind of go bogging. I'm not that type of rider, but that's okay. I just want to point out that this product is not perfect for that application, because while it is water resistant, if this is submerged, water will still go through this. So this is not going to keep water out of your motor like the snorkel would. Also, if you're going to wash your machine, I would recommend do not directly hit this filter mesh with water, as there's a good chance it could kind of punch through and damage it. If that's the case, you can always order replacement filter mesh off of Amazon or something. Just look up pre-filter mesh and get it shipped to your door, and you can use the same outline and cut around it, and then you can go ahead and replace your filter mesh. So it's very easy to do if you do happen to damage this. One thing I want to point out is that some people will have a concern about the size of this opening. Other products on the market that do the same job as this have openings that are nearly the entire size of the surface of this airbox. Now, While it may seem like those provide better airflow, in reality, there isn't much gained. Now, that may seem confusing at first, but understand that a 400 or even a 440cc motor can only suck in so much air per second at 8,000 RPM. Also keep in mind that Honda designed this OEM snorkel opening, which is under half this. They designed that to provide enough airflow for the motor. Now the reason that you can get more airflow from this over the snorkel is because the snorkel has lots of bends that create drag going into the airbox. This, however, creates a more direct path. That is the reason you see horsepower gains. It's not because necessarily it's a bigger opening, but because it's a more direct route. So yes, this opening, while smaller than others on the market, will still provide just as great as airflow to your motor. I just want to address that because some people like to see stuff that, this is smaller, must be worse. Not always the case. But that is it. Let me know if you guys want one of these. Hit me up on the Honda 400 Facebook group, and I'll be glad to ship one your way. And let me know your feedback or any questions you might have.